All right, welcome to everyone in the BD tribe to Webinar Wednesday. Let's jump right into it. Welcome. If you're here, you're looking to improve your website, you're looking to educate yourself and empower yourself with information that's going to help your site succeed and be the best that it can be. I'm Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by Gabriel and Patrick. Today, Gabe is one of the support specialists here at Brilliant Directories, helping to answer your support tickets and also assisting in the Facebook groups. And Patrick is from the one and only Customization Experts, the leading company creating tools and extensions to accompany your Brilliant Directories website. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today in Webinar Wednesday.
Thanks, Jason. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Jay. Happy to be here.
All right. And if this is your first Webinar Wednesday with us, welcome. You can have your questions ready. We'll be taking them in just a little bit later on in the webinar. And I always like to remind everyone, if you haven't already done so, I'm pretty sure everyone here is already a member of our Facebook group, the Marketing Strategy group that we have on Facebook. It's a great place to continue the conversation after Webinar Wednesdays. If you guys have questions the next day, or we couldn't get to your questions in today's Webinar Wednesday, go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. You can start a discussion there. I'm amazed at the participation that we're getting from everyone there. I'm in there myself, starting conversations, responding to discussions. And what's even better is seeing the BD tribe and the BD community helping and responding to each other with workarounds, ideas, tips, and strategies. So if you haven't done so, maybe you want to take a moment right now, go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. It'll redirect you to our Facebook group, and you can just click on the blue join button. I look forward to see you guys there. All right, and again, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome to Webinar Wednesday. They are addictive. There's so much to learn. Sometimes we go, almost over 2 hours. The goal is to keep it within an hour to an hour and a half. But there's just so much good information and topics to cover. What's really good for Webinar Wednesday is focusing on how to grow your community and grow your website. And that can be through many different ways and methods, such as how to convert visitors into members, how to increase and drive more website traffic, identifying revenue opportunities, search engine optimization questions. And one of my favorite is how to improve your website's navigation to provide a better user experience for your members. So these are just some of the topics we'll cover in Webinar Wednesday and the types of questions that would be best to ask in Webinar Wednesday to get the most out of these sessions. So like I said, have your questions ready and we'll get to them a little bit later in the webinar here. And we have something new and exciting in this episode of Webinar Wednesday. We are introducing a new segment, and the new segment is called Gabe's Corner. Gabe sees hundreds, if not thousands, of support tickets each week, and we thought it might be helpful for him to share some of the more common questions that he answers in the support ticketing system to kind of help you guys out here on the webinar. So Gabe, thank you so much for suggesting this segment, and I think it's going to be super helpful for everyone here on the webinar.
Absolutely, Jay. Thanks for that intro there. We are looking to incorporate this new segment to just go over a few of the common questions that I get on my day-to-day here at the support center to help out some people with some simple questions, right? The first question that I get a lot, is when is the right time to set up my email accounts, right? And really, when you're starting out, it isn't possible to set up your email accounts until you have actually connected your domain. So the best time to connect your email accounts is when you have set up your domain, right? And, as Jason just went there, we would first go into the back end admin panel, and then we would go to the email account section, right? And there's a little blue button there that allows us to click it and open up a new tab to add an email address. And this is the way to add an email address onto your Brilliant Directories website. And again, the best way to do that would be after connecting your domain.
That's right. So the logic behind that is when you start your Brilliant Directories site, you're given like a staging domain. It's some random numbers and letters and .directoryup.com. And when you come here to create an email address, it's going to correlate the email address like info at or JSON at to the domain name. And you don't want a directory up email address because that's not what your business is going to be associated with. So you want to wait till you've connected your domain name, and you would do that in the settings area here. You can go to Domain Manager. So once you're ready to, you've done some initial setup and you're ready to connect your domain name, you can go ahead and enter it here. You can see in this case that the website is Holistic Health Finder. And the reason this is important, Gabe, let me just take it one step further and actually go ahead and create an email account. So I'll click on the blue button. It's going to open a new tab. And I'll go ahead and, where's that new email button here? Oh, add an email account right here, this tab. So you'll notice here I could do like JSON, and then it's already pre-filled at holistichealthfinder.com in this example. So you want to wait till you connect your domain name so that the email address is not associated with the directory up domain, and it's associated with your company's domain name. All right, thank you, Gabe.
Perfect. Yeah. The next question I get a lot is, where do I find the sign up page links for my membership levels? Right, people use the sign up page links for many different reasons. And the best place to find that, or actually the place to find that, is in the admin panel, correct? And then the finance section of the admin panel. And let's just wait for Jason to get there real quick.
Gotcha.
So we would first go to the admin dashboard.
All right, so toggle on over to finance and then to manage products.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then once we are in this area of the admin panel, we'll want to just click on that green button that says sign up page. And what that does is open up a new tab for us. And what we'll find is the sign up page URL for this particular product. And that's for every single product in that section of the admin panel. Specifically on this page, there's a part of the URL that we're going to want to use. And that part is after the .com, and it's the /checkout number. So really interesting here is that all of your products, they're going to end with /checkout/ a number, and that particular number is actually the ID of your product. As Jason is highlighting right now, you'll see that the free holistic listing product has the ID 3, and on the sign up URL it's /checkout/3. So that's where you would find the URL for your product.
And I want to make a small note here. You guys will notice that we were redirected to secure my payment. So in order to provide your users with a protected sign-up process, it needs an SSL certificate, this green lock here. So if your site is just starting out, Brilliant Directories takes care of that for you by redirecting people to secure my payment. It's still branded with your link, but once you connect your own SSL, your security to your site, your sign-up pages will be, in this example, it would have been holistichealthfinder.com. Another thing you can do, Gabe, is if you want to just grab the link real quick, is you can always right-click the link, and you can copy the link, and then you can use that in email templates. You can create like a web page and create a button with that link, with linking that link here for the membership level. So it's really portable how you can use this link here, just copying the link. And Gabe is absolutely correct. You can go to any site, and if I just type checkout / and one of the IDs here, right? There's only 2 membership levels here with IDs 1 or 3. In this case, let's type in 1. It's redirecting us to the secure my payment, but it's for the premium account. So that's a quick and easy way to grab a link to your sign up pages. There is no 6, but there's a 3. So you can just copy this link and put it in your main menu, again, an email, a static web page, etc. And you can find those here on your sign up page.
Perfect. And the next question that I thought of today was that I get a lot is people asking how to link pages to their main menu and how to link pages to their footer menu. So essentially, first, we're going to want to find the page that we're going to want to link. So in this example, since we already found a page, we can use the free holistic listing sign up page. So Jay, if you could just copy that page for me, the URL.
Sure. Checkout 3.
Perfect. And now what we'll want to do is add a button in the main menu to link to that specific checkout. So if we go back to the admin, right, to the admin dashboard, then we'll go into the toolbox area.
Okay.
And then we'll click on the menu manager. And in the menu manager, we'll find a lot of different menus, but one of those menus is the header main menu. And that's the menu that controls the main navigation menu of your website. So we'll want to click on edit there. And then in this area, right there where it says Holistic Practitioners Join Today, we already have a button pre-made. There's an area to add the URL permalink of the page that you want to link to. So in this case, the permalink for the page that we want to link to is /checkout/3, and we would just replace that /join with what we had copied.
Right. So actually, this is a good strategy. What we can do instead of in the main menu linking people to the general join page, we can do what Gabe is suggesting and link them directly to the checkout page. And why don't we change this to join free instead of join today? And it'll direct them directly to the free sign up page. So let's add that save changes. And now this last link here in the main menu where it says join today should say join free. And if we click on it, we've added the link to the sign up page. And now we've directly linked someone to a page on our site, number one, but the free sign up page also.
Exactly, and that's a great strategy just to make the user experience a little shorter to be able to sign up on your site.
Another tip for linking pages in your main menu, let me go down to the categories of this page, browse categories. And so these are the top level categories for the site. So let's say you wanted to link directly to the acupuncture page of your site. Well, you have the URL here, and maybe there's like 3 to 5 categories that are really important to your site, or you really want to direct people to them. You can also copy these links, and you notice I'm just copying things after the /. You don't need the full URL when you're making a link, just the /. Let's actually create a new link, Gabe, and we'll put this here. That's where it's going to. So you'll notice all of these have / here. So you guys want to make sure you include that / in all your links. And what's even more fun is you can create drop downs real easily. Just for fun, I'll put this as a drop down under how it works, and I'll save the changes. And now we see like there's a tree branch under the how it works because the acupuncture is nested under there. So you can kind of toggle that open and close to take a look at it. And if we go back to our home page, and if we hover over the how it works, we'll see acupuncture is here, and we can link directly to that page. So if you do any searches on your site, like for Los Angeles or New York, and you want to create quick links around your site, this is a really easy way to identify what those links are, and then put them in different places around your site. All right, and this concludes our Gabe's Corner segment. Thank you so much, Gabe. I think it was super helpful.
No problem, Jay. Happy to throw out a few questions that are common.
Awesome. All right. Let's keep the good times rolling. We do have a showcase winner. We have Sean Burke joining us from Australia. His website is the Public Infrastructure Directory. I believe he launched on BD in 2018. And he's joining us here from Australia. Let me unmute your microphone, Sean, and we could take a visit to your site as well. How are you doing today, Sean?
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Fantastic. What part of Australia are you from?
I'm from Sydney on the East Coast.
Okay, great. So yeah, did you launch this site earlier this year on BD?
Yeah, the site was launched in April this year, but we had been developing it in the back half of last year.
Okay, great. And so, can you tell us a little bit about what the purpose of this site is, who the users are, what some of your goals are with the site?
Sure. So the users are public sector engineers and procurement departments, people who build bridges, pipelines, freeways, all those sort of public structures.
Right.
At the moment, in Australia, to find suppliers to build big public works, you need to go to multiple different siloed sites. So if you're building a bridge, you need to go and find a concrete supplier on one directory. You need to go and find pylon drivers, another directory. You need to go and find road layers, another directory. So finding the right suppliers for our we're a membership organisation for members can be quite a chore. So what we've done is develop a site that enables you to find all the different specialties suppliers that you require to build a certain project all in one find. So rather than looking at 5 different sites, you come here, say, I'm building a bridge, you tell the system you're building a bridge, and it will give you all the different suppliers in your area who you may need to build that bridge. Once you've found those suppliers, it shortlists them for you, and then you can attach those suppliers to a project listed in your profile. So you set up a project in your profile, and then you attach your suppliers to that project. So you've got them all in one place. From there, you can make notes, private notes against each supplier. You can attach documents. You can attach quotes. Communicate with your suppliers, and then once the project's finished, you can archive it again. So if you have a repeat project, you're on the front foot to start over again.
Gotcha. So how long has your organization been operating?
Well, the organisation's quite old. We've been going for over 100 years.
Okay.
But I guess we've been bringing suppliers. Our members are public sector engineers and tier 1 infrastructure builders. We've been bringing those members together with suppliers via events and by shows and seminars, but this is, I guess, a move to bring them together, and they happen annually or quarterly, so they're infrequent. But this is a way to bring our members and their suppliers together on an instant basis.
Gotcha. Makes sense of the purpose of the site, and you've done a good job illustrating that. It's really catering to civic solutions like building bridges and things like that. What are some of the?
If you look at
go ahead.
Sorry. If you look in the search projects on the right-hand side of the menu bar, we've predefined the projects, the most common projects that our members use. So search projects, and we build on that. So if a member, there it shortlists all the different suppliers in an area. Now, because you're not in Australia, you've got a very small list. But if you're in Australia, you would have a display of 5 in each category.
Let me remove.
If you need more,
I see what you're saying. So what you did is you took the link and made that a main menu link, exactly how it I was just showing with the acupuncture here. It looks like.
So it's a predefined search, and it shortlists all the different suppliers you may need.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've found those suppliers that I mentioned, you can click through on them, and then you can link them to your project, which you've set up on your own what do you call it, dashboard, and then manage those suppliers. So we call it a supplier, as opposed to a CRM, we call it a supplier relationship management tool.
Right. Oh, this is fantastic. What if
we also?
Oh, go ahead.
If you're logged, you'll see. And unfortunately not logged in, but you'll see additional tools come up, which is enabling you to make notes and link. So there's buttons missing and text boxes missing on that page you're seeing because you're not logged in as a member.
Let me quickly log in as a member here.
Okay. If you go to membership level, go to admin.
Admin level. Okay.
Okay.
News desk.
Oh, whatever. Whatever's quickest. Yeah, news desk. Yep.
News desk.
News
okay.
desk. and then log in as me because I'm the news desk person.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So if you go and do your search by projects again, you'll see my projects on the right hand side. My projects.
Yes, I see these here.
So they're projects I'm working on. Or I'm using the demo. So you can click through on one of those, or you can set up a new one. But I attach listings to those projects so that I can manage my suppliers very quickly. I
Gotcha.
can make notes.
This looks like a customization. Did you set this up on your own here?
No, Louis Alvarado, who was recommended to us by your organisation, did it all for us.
Absolutely, he's fantastic.
We found him very good. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So if you click on one of those suppliers, you'll see the extra buttons and functionality that we've put into the system via Louis. We also, I guess, we had a target of 2,000 unique users a month when we first launched in April. We achieved that in 6 weeks. And we've plateaued a bit now, but I guess we're looking at ways of driving more users. We never expect to have huge volumes because we're not a consumer site. We're more business to business,
right?
And we're very specialised. But the people who use our site spend a lot of money, and therefore suppliers want to be in front of them. And this is a way of getting in front of the people who control significant budgets.
That's fantastic. What was one of the strategies you utilized to get those first members signed up? Was it email marketing, direct mail, networking?
The listers.
Yeah, the listers.
The listings. I guess we started with our own internal list. So as I said, we hold events and conferences. So we started by targeting those people, and then once we sort of exhausted the email invitation, which we did through MailChimp, and linked back to Brilliant Directories. Once we exhausted the emails and we got on the phones and employed people to come in and call people and get them to, I guess, approve to be listed. And we're still going through that process now. So we're growing listings by between 75 and 100 a week.
Fantastic. So you brought up a good mention there, approving the listing. So people are requesting to join, and therefore they're going through some kind of vetting and approval process with you. So you're creating a barrier, a feeling of exclusivity to join your website.
Look, we are, but the truth is, if you supply a product, you're welcome to list on our site for free. There's no cost.
Right.
If you want to upgrade your listing to a premium, then there is a cost, and that gives you the advantages that comes with the system. But we do have included sections within the listing that show our users where the supplier is accredited elsewhere. So we don't run any accreditation, but if they are accredited by other I guess official bodies, then they can flag that on their listing so that suppliers know they're accredited by government purchase agencies.
Gotcha. One thing that caught Patrick and my eye were these user tutorials that you created. These are instructional videos on how people can use the website, correct?
That's right, yes.
Are these getting a lot of views, or are these helping in your conversions and reducing your customer service on the site, your support inquiries?
Yeah, look, they took 3 or 4 days to do. And I don't track how often they're being used, but I do see them pop up in my analytics quite frequently. And the aim is that we're a very small team. We don't have time to we don't have the capacity to go around to all our users or spend a lot of time on the phones teaching people. So this sort of gives people access to what we're about, how to use our system at a fairly high level, but it is fairly self-explanatory once you're in the system. This just gives you a head start.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think these videos are really nice.
So yeah, they're I'm glad we did it, and we'll keep doing them as questions come that need to be answered that we haven't got time to answer, I guess, regularly.
And when you worked with the developer, when you worked with Luis, did you have a clear scope for the project, or did it pivot and change as you were working on the project?
No. We put together technical specifications. We knew what we were after. We'd spent a lot of time consulting with people in the industry on what they required. So it was documented, and I think it was fairly clear. I mean, there was a few little chops and changes along the way, but the basic requirements didn't change significantly from the technical specs through to delivery.
That's really important.
And look at this. We gave Louis some scope when we said this is what we want to achieve. We're not going to tell you how to achieve it, but this is what we want to achieve. And he sort of made it happen. I guess with his understanding of the system. So he's delivered something that was better than we expected. But certainly the outcomes were documented.
I don't see it enough when people are trying to customize their site or paying for customizations that they've done market research or gained feedback from people. They're just kind of going with their gut and kind of guessing as what needs to be created. So it's really refreshing to hear that you guys did some comprehensive research, both your own with user feedback and consulting with the developer to create the best product, and also get it executed as quickly as possible. Pat, did you have any feedback or notes that since we were chatting about the site earlier?
Not so much. I thought maybe the only thing that kind of stood out to me that would be easy to add would be that member snapshot on the detailed layouts of the individual posts. But overall, I thought that the website was very well organized. I really like how you organize the search by projects to be to basically take people to the search result page for that particular type of that is a lot easier than going to your search menu, let's say, on your homepage and trying to digest what's available. You've handpicked the most commonly searched for items on your site and made it easy for the end users to find that content.
That's right. And what we've done is we've attached categories to each of those predefined searches, so that we don't have to go through every member and sort of tell them it just finds by category and lists the top 5 closest. And then you can expand that short list, see all the lists in the category if you choose, if you can't find the one you want. So yeah, that was, I guess that's the differentiation between other sites that exist in Australia, and there are quite a few, but as I said, they're siloed. So you go to one to find heavy equipment, you go to one to find concrete, you go to one to find road laying. But this one sort of pulls everyone together. And I guess because we've got so much in there, we need to keep it organised.
Yeah, I think you've done a great job.
One of the things we do differently if we had our time over again, and I'm not sure we can reverse this, but the structure of the categories. We sort of set up categories from tier 1 down to tier 3. In hindsight, what we should have done is have tier 1 as one category and everything else as tier 2s. So that was a learning mistake for us. We're trying to, work around that. But if we had a time again, we would have structured the categories differently.
Got you. So a member would be able to choose like road construction and parks and recreation.
Those come from multiple different categories anyway, because that searches across categories. But it's more about the inputting of listings. So we've got suppliers who provide A, B, C, and D, and A and B are in one category level, and C and D are in a different category level. So they can't get all their goods and services listed on the one listing.
Gotcha.
So what we should have done, and we learned this after we'd set up, and go backwards after we'd gone live, was that we could have set up a tier 1 which encompasses all our categories beneath it, allowing suppliers or members, I think you call them, to select across different categories.
That's actually pretty common.
On one listing is
being able to set up a single category. Let me let me find that article and just share it with everyone here in our support center, just in case anyone else is experiencing something similar. Give me one moment. So there are rare occasions where you just want one top level category. Let's see if we can, yeah, this article here. I think this is the article we have. Is this the article, Pat? I think it is. It'd be
Yeah, I believe that's the one.
All right, I'm just going to share this one. You guys can search the support center also for like setting up one top level category. But this might come in handy for some people who might just be getting started out. Category structure is super important to a site. Sometimes it's very simple, but when you're dealing with thousands or hundreds of category names, you kind of want to make sure you get it right the first time. It's hard to start moving people around once the hierarchy of the categories has been set up. It is possible with access to the MySQL database, but it does become cumbersome to try to reconcile things and move things around after the fact. But Sean, I think you've done a phenomenal job with your site. It's clear what it's for. It's easy to navigate. I don't have too much criticism or advice. It seems like you guys have a great handle on it. I think this is a great example of a site done right, and with the bonus of a customization that you added to your site, which seems to be adding huge value to you and your members.
Yeah. No, look, I guess my comment is, again, we had a great base to start from, and the comprehensiveness of this brilliant directory system is impressive. So I guess at a base level, the system was great, but just adding those extra little bits of customization just made it, I guess, more directed to our audience.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are times when you need those customizations. The good news is that it is possible to get them done with the assistance of a developer. So I want to thank you, Sean, for sharing your site with us and allowing us to showcase your site here on Webinar Wednesday.
Pleasure. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. All right, guys. Yeah, great site here from Sean. Thank you so much, Sean, for allowing us to showcase your site. It's great to see a nice example here of a site that's growing and sharing some of your strategies with us. All right, if you'd like your site showcased in the next webinar Wednesday, you can email events@brilliantdirectories.com. Just please make sure to include a link to your website. We'll notify you prior to the webinar if your website has been selected. We'll be happy to review it, provide some feedback, and we'll also share it on our Facebook page. So you can email events@brilliantdirectories.com and just include a link to your site if you'd like to be showcased in the next webinar. Look forward to seeing the inquiries that come in for that. All right, this next segment is one that you don't want to miss. If you've been tuned down, if you got a cell phone call in the background, now's the time to focus. The tip of the week is how to create on-site visitor actions. If you're not satisfied with the conversions that you're getting on your site, whether it's people registering for a lead magnet or registering for a membership or even signing up for your newsletter, this tip of the week is going to help you to increase those conversions and get more engagement from your website visitors. Pat, I'm going to pass it over to you here. Can you please explain to us what are on-site visitor actions?
Absolutely. So when you're visiting a website, it is something that will guide somebody to take the appropriate action that you would like them to take and take them to a page that you've designated for that action. So it could be an action could be joining the website. An action could be asking a question in a forum. Perhaps it could be leaving a review for a member. Perhaps it would be asking for a quote in your Get Match form or a lead gen page. Perhaps it could even be contributing content such as adding a deal or adding a property if it's a property website. So an on-site visitor action takes advantage of the person that's currently browsing your website and basically educating them on the types of things that they could be doing on that site while browsing.
Now, some examples of these are, I'm just going to toggle over to a blank slate Brilliant Directories website. Let me just log out here. So even by default, your site does come with some on-site visitor actions. This get listed button in the top right, you can change the words there. That technically is an on-site visitor action. You want them to do something. Let me go to the search results page here. Join our newsletter. This is technically an on-site visitor action. This box here, are you a business? And register your company, create searchable listings. The problem is they're nice, and again, it's all default and standard and whatnot. It's probably not compelling enough or exciting enough. You might need bigger font. You might need to change the colors. But these are all on-site actions. Even a pop-up that you might get on the screen, when you're browsing a site and you get that pop-up window and it asks them to give your email address for something, that is an on-site visitor action. And you want to make sure that your website has them. Why? Because these are the benefits of on-site visitor actions. Pat, can you run us through some of these? Because I think you had some numbers 1 and 3 were, I think, super valuable here.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, when perhaps somebody landed on your website via a search result, maybe they Googled something and they landed on an article that addresses what they searched for, or perhaps somebody shared a link on social media and they clicked on it because it was, and it takes them to your directory. But what an on-site visitor action does, it'll compel them to continue exploring your website. So perhaps I read an article and I found it helpful on a website. It would be nice to have something that would instruct me on something else I could be doing there, whether it could be, maybe it could even be a banner to another type of content on my website. The idea is to keep people clicking and keep them on your website. That's the goal here. It also helps your website look more professional. What Jason just showed there with the default is a great starting point. They are going to get some activity, but it does look like a template, and it doesn't look like it's been branded. So somebody that comes to this and sees that, they may still interact with it, but it's not going to look like a finished product. It's not like going to look, there's a marketing team behind that. And don't worry, the tip today that we're going to show you, so you don't need to hire a marketing team with what you're about to learn today, but by having a professional looking visitor actions, it's going to really make a difference on your site.
Yep, and I think the key here is it's going to help increase conversions for the things that you want people to do. Let's just go back to this default site. You want people to join your newsletter. You want people to join your site. So by having a more professional visitor action embedded somewhere on your site, it's going to increase those conversions for those actions that you want people to do. So how complicated is it, Pat, to create an on-site visitor action? Because I don't know any coding, and it sounds really confusing.
Well, in preparation for this webinar, you asked me to just put just to get a couple together very quickly, and with the tips we're about to share, it took me under 5 minutes to put 3 together. So it's very quick, it's very easy. I did not need to know a single line of code. We're going to be utilizing all the Brilliant Directories default settings that come with the platform, and we're just going to be able to, from start to finish, starting at the creating of the banner ad, uploading the banner in the design settings, linking the banner to the destination you would like someone to go to when they click on the banner, making sure it's in the sidebar, and obviously at that point having it live. All of those things, we could probably get one up and running in 5 to 10 minutes.
All right, I'm excited. I want visitor actions. I want more people to sign up to my Holistic Health Finder website, Pat. Can you help us with that?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
All right, I'm going to pass over the controls to you, and you can show us how it's done.
All right, great. So we're going to start with the software that we recommended, that was canva.com. So this is the Canva dashboard. You can see the 3 I put together very quickly. If I open one up, you'll see what that looks like. And basically, are you a holistic professional? 50% discount on pro account. Offer expires August 15th. So this is the end result, but I want to show you how I created this in just a few minutes. So what we need to do is we need to find a template that matches. So I'm going to click on the logo in the top left here. And then I'm going to see something here that says find templates. So it's very easy to find templates. And then they give you different template types. The one that I find that's most helpful for sidebars and is the one that's called social graphics. This is made for Facebook posts and things along those lines. And if you scroll down, you're going to start seeing a variety. I know the ones at the top were all property related, but I just start exploring. So I just try to think, what do I want people to do? I want them to sign up for my website. That's the goal right now. That's the visitor action I'd like someone to do. So I'm going to look for an image that inspires me. And I just found one right now. So I found this coffee cup right here. So I'm going to open up this banner. It's going to give me a little information. And I'm going to say I want to use this template. So I'm going to click use the template. And it's going to give me access to that creation. And we said we don't need to know any code. A couple of tips. I want to find an image that doesn't have a lot of writing. Bear in mind, this is going to show up in your sidebar. So it's going to have a fairly large font. And I don't want too many distractions. So I saw this coffee here. So I'm trying to get a little creative. I could say cheaper than a cup of coffee per day. And then I'm going to get rid of this one down here. Join today. We're putting something very, very quick together here, but I just want to show you. There we go. We'll move this up. We're just dragging and dropping. I want to give a little bit more space today. And Jason, any marketing advice on the copy there, since you're definitely the guru when it comes to that?
I think for this example is good, and you've made some examples earlier. We could maybe pull some of those into the site in addition to this one. We can swap them out to see which one we like best.
Yeah, so I wanted to pick a template very quickly, and now that we have this ready, it gives you a download link. So you can click download, you can pick what file size you'd want it to be. They recommend JPEG, a PNG. A JPEG is usually lighter. So we'll go ahead and download that. And just like that, in under 2 minutes, we're able to have something that you would think a marketing team would have had to put together. And this is the image itself. I'll just carry this over. And let's go like Jason said, let's go take a look at a few that we did together just a moment ago here. So I'll go and click on Canva to pull up my designs. So here's one I think that you liked, correct, Jason, that I put together?
Yeah, it tells you what to do. It prompts you, are you a holistic professional? You wrote sign up in there. It could say join today, whatever fits in that little box there. Then the colors are nice too.
Great, and then just so people can see how easy it is to customize, I can change this to join today. If it overlaps, I can just make the font a little bit smaller until everything fits into the box. The hand's already superimposed on top of that. So you can see it's very easy to change this. So what we're going to do, Jason, is we're going to pick this image. This will be the winner, and we're going to add this to one of the sidebars of Holistic Health Finder.
All right.
And so I'm going to go into the.
I just want to remind everyone.
Go for it.
Canva is a free tool, Pat. But beyond registering for a free account, all of this is free to use, right?
That's correct. Everything is free to use, and right now we're doing a specific banner, but it gets a lot more complex than that. You can even do infographics. There's nothing that you can't do. You could do covers, Facebook covers. It's really amazing what you can do with this. There's really not too many times this doesn't provide me what I need, and also I get inspiration. Instead of thinking, what do I want my banner to say? I usually come to software like this and I see what templates are there. and I let my ideas form around designs that are already existing instead of coming up with my idea and then trying to find a design that matches it. Oftentimes when you take that approach, you never find the perfect fit because it's just not right for the idea you had in your mind. So if you come here and you get inspired with what's already available, then you know your idea is going to fit because your idea came from the design in the first place. Just like the coffee one, perhaps that was not the best marketing copy, but I let the design inspire me, and at least I had a banner. And I think that that's probably a little bit better than just the default ones that come out of the box.
Absolutely. I love that one with the chick down there. It's
Just
springtime.
amazing. That's amazing.
You could do a lot of clever things
Yes.
with that.
And then you could also search by, you could, like, let's say it's infrastructure. Of course, infrastructure. I don't know if I spelled that right. I probably didn't. There we go. So we
Boom.
have a bunch, we build with passion. So you get a bunch of marketing materials right here for infrastructure, architecture. So just giving that, there's really no industry you're not going to find a ton of existing marketing material that already exists. We can do holistic. And then we're going to start seeing a ton of holistic examples, pages and pages and pages of health related stuff. We can do dental. We could do dentists. All of these are different templates that you can have. So whatever your directory is about, it should be fairly easy to find something that you can use.
All right, love it. Let's see this in action, and let's add it to the Holistic Health Finder website.
Perfect. Let's do it. So we'll add it to the, let's add it to the search results sidebar over here. Let's replace this Google AdWords with one of our own. Perhaps that's a good place to start. So what I'll do is I'll go into the design settings. There's a tab that's called the banner ad design. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to pick the sidebar banner ad one. So we'll go ahead and utilize this one. There's a very quick button to upload the image. So that's what we'll do. We'll click on upload image.
I saw them there at the bottom.
Thought I had it.
I saw them at the very bottom there, Pat. Here, there's the
There.
sign up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So there it is. We'll go ahead and select that. So now we have the banner image that's been uploaded. And then what we're gonna do here, it says enter banner URL. This is the destination that we would like it to go to. So in this case, I'm gonna want to take users to the join page, or perhaps to the free page. Since we're saying it's free to join, we probably want to skip that page. So that would be
I think
/checkout/3.
Yeah, checkout 3.
Okay, so then we're gonna paste the link here. So this is gonna make it so when somebody clicks on our banner, it's gonna take them straight to the free member sign up page, which is what we want to have happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and save these changes.
Just give it about 30 seconds, and we should see the changes on the site.
I guess while we wait, we can just go to the sidebar manager. Just takes a moment. We're going to go to the search results sidebar. We're going to click edit, and I just want to make sure that we're calling that banner ad. And it appears as though we're not calling it.
I think that's it, Pat, actually.
That is the one. Okay, fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, great. So let's just refresh the page. And voila. There is the banner that we just created. So when we click on that, it takes us to the page that we want it to take us to, which is the free account sign up form. And just like that, we've created a visitor action on our website that looks professional and will increase conversions. I think this will get a lot more attention than this one over here with all of that text copy.
Absolutely. Let's just look at that for a second. The banner ad there, it fits nicely. First of all, it definitely gets my attention. And I think you did a great job with the messaging. You're asking a question, and then you have the sign up button. It's very clear what to do here.
All right, thank you, Jason.
And what's cool is in the banner ad design section, there are other key places. If you want to click there, Pat, the sidebar ones are just additional ones if you want to put multiple ones in sidebars. But on the right hand side, there are some cool areas like the footer banner ad and the header banner ad. And if you toggle them open, it does have a recommended size there of what the banner ad should be. So that one is 970 pixels wide by 90 height. It doesn't have to be exactly, but that's roughly the kind of the pixels and the proportions that you want. So you could sprinkle other types of these visitor actions throughout your site. And I like them more than the Google ads. And what I like even better is if you don't have sponsors or advertisers, just promote your best stuff and link people to other sections of your website. So it's almost like internally linking people to your best content or your best pages. It might not be to a sign up page. It could be to even your events page or your blog page and things like that. You could even have a feature, if you want to feature a member, you could probably make a Canva that features one of your members. Pat, are you able to upload an image and layer it on top of a Canva? I know I'm asking a higher level question here. Is that something that's possible? Like if you wanted to put a profile picture of one of your members and create a Canva around that? So you could, yeah. So let's upload the Brilliant Directories logo or the SOSMAMI logo. Okay, so you could upload a picture of a member's profile picture and kind of feature them in the sidebar if you wanted to, and that can stay there for about a week or something like that. So really you could use this for infinite purposes, not just getting people to sign up. You could really just feature your best content, make your members feel warm and fuzzy by featuring them with a nice banner on the sidebar as well.
Yeah, and you could easily add additional backgrounds if you want. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but yeah, it's really easy to go in and to customize everything. Everything is drag and drop, and again, getting inspired by the existing templates is probably the way to go with this one.
Absolutely. So we'd love to see if you guys are creating banner ads and visitor actions between now and the next webinar. Let us know. We'd love to see how you're using it on your site. And you can email it to events@brilliantdirectories.com. And we'd like to kind of see how you guys are utilizing a tool like Canva, or you can find other ones. I think there's another one that starts with like Monkey. I don't know what it's called though. It's called Monkey something. But yeah,
Monkey. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't. Someone else uses it that I've seen, but it's not important. Yeah, we'd love to see you guys add this and add more value to your websites with these awesome graphics. So thank you, Pat, for demonstrating that for us.
All right, my pleasure.
I'll grab the controls back over to you. Great presentation there. You guys should really spend time to decorate your site with some of those banner ads. And again, with a tool like Canva, it just makes it really easy to look super professional. All right, let's dive into it. I'm sure you guys have questions for this webinar Wednesday. You can use the raise your hand feature, or you can chat in your questions. Gabe will be there to kind of assist you with the questions that you chat in. And we can also unmute your microphone if you use the raise your hand feature with some questions. All right, let's see. We got Beth. Beth, how are you today?
I'm good.
All right, and how did you find anything useful in the webinar so far today?
Yeah, actually, the banner ad stuff was good, but I really enjoyed the directory from Australia. As I was looking at it, it gave me hope and inspiration because I just started a few weeks ago, and that site I just thought looked really amazing and very useful. So. But actually, at the very end of his conversation, he was talking about creating a top-level category, and that kind of segues into my question, was about using top-level categories and how to hide them in certain areas of the state.
That's right. You were in the Facebook group, and we chatted, and we said, let's carry the conversation in the webinar, right?
Yeah. Thanks for your help.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at your site. What's the name of your site?
Okay, it's called homeschoolmaryland.com, and it's under construction, but I made it live so you can take a look at it.
Okay, great. So in your case, as Sean was mentioning, he wished he started his site with one top level category. And again, it's a rare case but there are times when people need to use that. And in your case, you are using just one top level category, correct?
I have one top level category, and then I've got 4 subcategories under that, and then I've got about, I don't know, maybe 12 or 15 subcategories.
Okay.
So
let's take a look.
The top level one is.
Let's just take a quick look at the category. So general user is the name of your top level category. Okay.
Yeah. And really, the only reason I was using that is because I have users that will want to be in multiple sub-level categories.
Okay. I have a suggestion for you.
Okay.
Let's look at, for SEO purposes, we can actually turn this, there's a little silver lining here, we can actually turn it into something positive. Your site focuses on finding what Maryland homeschool options, resources?
It's for families that homeschool in Maryland to find resources like the subcategories are instructors who are like tutors. You know, if somebody was looking for a music teacher or an art teacher for their family, venues, so places like, you know, local zoos, museums, art galleries. And then there are support groups that are out there for homeschoolers. So there's kind of like, there are a lot of little sort of niche industries that cater to homeschoolers, but they don't generally know how to find them and reach them. So, and homeschoolers don't know how to, you know, find all the information that they need. So this site is kind of pulling together the 2 groups. And the listings are going to be people that are trying to reach homeschoolers.
Gotcha. Okay. I see that you're in the early stages of your site and you have a handful of membership level. Good job creating the dummy level for imports. If something with your import went wrong, you could immediately delete that group of members in a bulk action, or if it was successful, you could move the import to the correct membership level. So good job with this.
Yeah, I haven't imported anything yet. I really only have 1 or 2, you know, dummy members.
Okay.
But when I was doing those, I started realizing I had an issue with the categories and how they were printing out.
Okay. So what you can do is, what is a profile where it's showing the top level category a lot? Which member?
Okay. So if you went to the Sue Smith one is a good example, the top one there.
Okay. So Sue Smith, she listed herself in the general user category.
Well,
because
actually,
yeah,
that's the problem. She listed herself that she's with Frederick Montessori, which is, it's actually a group. And on the contact page, I had her down. This is a dummy person, but I put her in as, you know, the name. The group or the business is Frederick Montessori Homeschoolers, which is like a organization. And I changed on the contact form. I saw there was a place to hide the top level category, so I did that on the contact form. But when you look at this profile, it's still showing up with general user. So it's also giving me the girl's name instead of the company name.
Okay. So there's a couple things there. So just since you hid the top level category, it's still going to save her with a top level category, even though she's not going to see that she's selecting one, as an example. Let me do a couple things for you. First, let's hide the top level category in the breadcrumb here. That one is pretty.
Okay.
That one's pretty easy. What we want to do is edit the SEO template, and this is kind of like information about the member profile pages. And there is an option in the sidebar here. It's going to show like the state, the city, the profession, which is the top level category. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one and save the changes. And let's see how that works. So this should be gone here. So that one is gone.
Okay.
The next one is in the URL here. Let me try one thing here. Let me log in as this member. I want to resave her contact details. I want to see something. Okay, let's view the public profile. Okay, no, I was testing something that didn't work. Let's get the, are you a company or group or organization, or are you individual? She is listed as a...
She is a company, and that's why I don't understand. The company is Frederick Montessori Homeschoolers. And I had her plugged in there as company, but it's showing up with her name, her individual name.
I see the issue. You added the value as company or group or organization. The value needs to remain as company. So let me change that. You modified the form, and it needs to either save it as individual or company. So let me go to your form manager. Okay. And we're going to look for, good job finding where to do that, by the way. So I'm going to edit your members contact details form. So that's the contact details here. And listing represents, so you kind of edited this. We have text labels for this.
Okay.
Where you just put the text label here. And let me just keep it as company or individual for now on your site.
Yeah, sure.
Just to get it working properly. Let me refresh the page. And I'm going to save it as company. So when it's, so people are asking, so what does it mean when it's company or individual? When you set a listing as a company, you're not going to see their first or last name anywhere on the front end of the website. It more becomes the person to contact if there's any customer service that needs to be provided for this listing. Imagine if someone from Coca-Cola created a listing, it's just the contact person at the company. If it's an individual, it's going to show their first and last name. So that would be for someone who might be a general user or an individual practitioner, and they want their first and last name public on the website. So now if we go here, we should see Frederick Montessori Homeschoolers. And we don't see it repeated here. We see it as a general user. Now I wanted to check one more thing. I recommended a setting to you in the Facebook group. I want to kind of try it again. Let me find that where we were talking.
I have
about
it.
This. Yeah, it's right here.
It's the advanced things.
I think it's right here. Yeah, let me try this. There is an advanced setting to set the a sub-level category as a fallback, and you do have it set to 1, so it's not doing what we want it to do. What I was going to recommend to you, where I mentioned a silver lining, instead of general user as the category name, why don't we use an SEO keyword term that would actually help the site and all the listings, like for example, homeschool resources. Or homeschooler. Just repeat the word homeschooler instead of general user. That way, it's still going to be part of the URL, and it's still going to be on this page, but it'll add a little bit more SEO value rather than trying to hide it.
Homeschool resources would work because that covers things like art museums and nature centers and things like that.
Exactly. So let me just save the changes here. It should add the URL automatically. So now the URL would be homeschool resource. So I'm gonna have to save. Let me just refresh this page. I'm gonna save her profile again. It should automatically make the update for us. And if we look at her profile, so now we have.
That's great.
Oh well, you actually removed it. Oh, you actually did something okay here. It's not in the URL. I don't know exactly what you did on your phone, but now it says homeschool resources here instead of general user. So we've kind of found a workaround for you here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so good questions there. That topic comes up from time to time. All right. Oh, we have our good friend Arlana. Arlana, how are you today?
I'm great, thanks.
Awesome, Arlana. Was there anything in the webinar that stood out that was maybe helpful for you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I really like that Canva. I've done a lot of banner and ads. I just use Publisher.
Okay.
But that Canva is nice because it gives you a really good selection of already pre-made design graphics. That's awesome.
Yeah, you just got to come up with your own clever one-liners and you're good to go.
Oh, I got a million of them.
Awesome. So, yeah, what's your question for us today?
Well, one of the things I'm kind of confused about is I want to have an optional setup fee for people when they set up their profile. Is that what the admin only button? Like I'm confused about whether it should be checked or unchecked, and I don't know how to follow through on that to see how it's working.
Gotcha. What's your site? We can kind of maybe we can actually set that up for you.
Holistic Essentials.
Okay. I already have an idea of how we could potentially achieve this. Let's just go to your site and check out your sign up page, your pricing page here. Okay, so nice pricing page. It's nice and concise, by the way, very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so you have a free listing. You have a $10 per month and a $19 per month. So what are you looking to add to this?
Well, when I do the set up the products, and it gives you the option of admin, like add an amount admin only. I'm wondering if that's where I can give them the option. I've used the one time a couple times, but I also wanted to use that option for like a one-time setup fee.
Gotcha. So yeah, no, good question. Let me explain to everyone what you're referring to here. So when you're setting up your membership levels, under the pricing tab, when it's set to a paid account, let me just scroll down a bit. You can set the monthly price, which will be reflected on the checkout page, a quarterly price, semi-annual, yearly, etc., etc. All the ones that you put a value in, Arlana, will be available on the checkout page. The admin-only option is for if you were going to manually set up a subscription in the back end. Let me actually show you an example. I'll revert this, but I'm just going to set this to $100 for semi-yearly price and set it as admin only. And I'll go ahead and save the changes. This is for semi-yearly, every 6 months. I'm going to go to the checkout page for this product, and we're not going to see the semi-yearly price as an option. So that was, I believe, this VIP one. So we're not going to see that option here because I wrote that it's for admin only. So what does that mean, admin only? What that means is, let me actually go to, as if I was gonna maybe charge someone manually through the admin area. So let's do this person. We can go to payment history, and I can click on new order here, and now I can manually bill someone or start a subscription for someone in the admin area. So I'll search for that VIP biz no setup fee. And what I'll see here is now I can only the admin can see this semi-annually option of that is now available as an option for this membership level. So that is what the admin only means. Now, for you, if you're trying to sell, let's go back to your pricing pages. So you basically want to give people an option to sign up for one of these plans or sign up for one of these plans, plus you're going to help them with setup. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
What you could do is you could have 2 buttons and like 2 alternate checkout pages for these. And what you can do is maybe Pro Biz Profile plus setup. And so this is $19 per month. Let me go back to here. What you can do is, let me remove this. Oh, was this the wrong one? VIP business. Which one did I do? This one, the biz no setup.
I think.
So let me remove that $100. So what you can do is you can add a one-time setup fee in addition to the monthly price. So let's say your setup fee is $99 as an example. So you can create an alternate product. So there'll be 2 buttons. One is just sign up for 19 bucks a month, or sign up for 19 bucks a month, plus we'll set up your profile for you. Let me just save this temporarily, and I'll show you what you see on the page. I think I lost the sign up page. I'll just take a look at it again. So let's go to the sign up button page. Wow, this link really came in handy, this webinar. So now when we go to this page, we see that there's a one-time setup fee, plus it's going to be annually or monthly. So this is going to be $99 plus the $19 setup fee. The $19 per month. So you could have 2 buttons. One of them includes the setup fee or whatever you want to call it, and one of them doesn't. And then how you showcase that on your pricing page is up to you, how you want the aesthetics and the verbiage. But I would recommend creating 2 identical products. One of them has the one-time setup fee, and one of them doesn't.
Okay, so can you go back and show me then how did you put the setup fee?
So all you do is, when you go to your pricing tab for any one of your membership levels, have your monthly price and your yearly price set up. And for those that you also want a one-time setup fee, make sure you include a value here of that price. If you leave it empty or 0, there's obviously no one-time setup fee. And that'll charge them one time whatever you put in here, plus the monthly price. But the only thing that's going to recur in the future is either the monthly or the yearly. This $99, as an example, is only going to get billed that first day, that one time.
Okay, so there's no way for them to select that. It has to be one or the other.
So there's no way for them to select that right now, but what you can do is, on your pricing page, give the effect that they're choosing between the 2 options for the plan. So a lot of it just comes down to the aesthetics and how you achieve that. So you could do that on your own. You could rename the buttons, like sign up $19 per month, or sign up $19 per month plus $99 setup service, and have 2 buttons. So you could obviously do it yourself quick and dirty. You could work with a designer who could maybe make the aesthetics a little nicer for you as well. So those are 2 options. But here on the pricing page is where you can give them the option for each plan over here.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thanks. And so if it's checked, it will show up on the pricing page.
That's correct.
Oh, no, if you check it, then that's admin only. So that means it'll only show up as when I do the drop down, and then I would have to do it as a new
order, and manually. To be honest, personally, I don't see a lot of people using that. It's, why would you offer only monthly plans to your members? I think you would only use it in unique situations, when you're making an exception for someone who needs to pay for a cycle that you're not offering publicly on your site. So it would be very rare to use an admin only pricing option to manually bill a member. I see that as a very rare instance that you would want to use that feature.
So Jason, just to go on that, because it's an interesting topic, and I've seen quite a few people. What they do is they use an on-site visitor action and they create a banner in the member dashboard. And basically what it says is, need help setting up your website, click here to purchase a setup fee, which then basically is just a form that they fill out. When it's a paid member, it means you have the credit card on file. So you're able to create orders. Somebody can be an existing member of your $10 a month plan, and if they clicked on a banner that said that they wanted help with the setup fee and it's $99, and all they had to do is fill up the form in order to coordinate that with you, then they could basically book a call on your Calendly, on a calendar. Perhaps it would just be an email that goes out to you. But you'll be able to go into the admin and you can charge them a one-time fee. So you can go and create an order for the setup call that they're going to have with you without them having to click on a button or create a new account or use a different membership level. So they would stay inside of that VIP listing level and you would charge them a one-time fee.
Okay, that's an interesting way to deal with it.
I think that's
Okay.
this is a genius way to work on it, Pat, is putting it, once they fill out the form, that they're basically giving you the okay to build a credit card, and you can just follow through with the service after that.
Precisely. I see a lot of people do that, or they link to a calendar. So it's called an onboarding call for new members or a setup call. So you have, for example, Calendly. I think we had shown that in a previous webinar. But when somebody books an appointment, you get on the call with them. You just remind them it's going to be a $99 call, $99 charge on their account at the completion of the call. If you want to charge them after that setup call, you can do that as well. Both of them work quite well.
Awesome. It's multiple ways to solve the same problem. All right. Thanks for sharing that, Orlana.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for helping.
Great stuff. All right. So solving problems on how to bill members in different ways. Great topic there, Orlana. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Let's see. We have our good friend Ken. Ken, how are you today? You were featured in the previous webinar, correct?
Yes, that was very helpful. We implemented, I think, all of your suggestions, and it was a big improvement. Thanks very much for that.
Awesome. Great. What's your question for us today?
I'm wondering about pricing. I have a feeling our pricing is a little too high, and I'm wondering if you have any best practices regarding what's too high, what's too low.
Yeah, sure. We can take a look at your site. You want to remind me what that was again?
StudyAbroadLists.com.
That's right. So generally, with pricing, a good indicator is usually to first look at what competitors are charging. But let's take a look at your site as an example here. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, this site's looking great. So let's click on Get Listed Today. Who's getting listed, by the way? The programs, right?
Mainly, yeah.
All right.
Those are the paying people.
Could we say list your study abroad program? With that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's just go on a small tangent here and let's update that. I always like change the Get Listed Today is nice. Again, it comes as default with the site, but it's always nice to address who you're asking to sign up to your site. That's in the header mini nav. It'll be a little long, but it'll definitely get your attention. List your study abroad.
And Ken, a quick question. As somebody that makes a sale, I always like to think about that. Usually, one approach I've seen some people use is they want to price it out so that if the member makes one sale, they basically break even with a yearly membership. So I'm just curious, how much do they make on a sale, your particular members, the ones that are selling programs, on average, if you were to guess a number?
Somewhere between 1,000, 1,500 US.
Okay, so that's always a good marketing angle, and I had a feeling you were going to say that, familiar with the industry. So when I almost think $19 a month is too low. If anything, you're losing credibility with something as low as $19, because I could essentially be listing on your website for years, for 5 years at the low estimate, and for 7.5 years at your high end estimate for me to break even at that price point. So you're probably undervaluing the exposure that I could get. The fact that I will be making $1,000 to $1,500 per sale, I think that there's a little bit of value, and I do know the competition quite a bit, and that's probably making it difficult for people to understand why they would want to advertise there. I think by raising the premium price and making it, using the decoy effect would go a long way. You're doing the opposite of the decoy effect at this point. You're making the elite look extremely unattractive. And I don't know if Jason wants to take a moment to talk about that decoy effect and the pricing model, how that might be helpful.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick example of the decoy effect. His elite plan is $149. If we made the premium plan $139, which plan would you go for? Just as an example, elite. Okay, so that's an example of the decoy effect. Is this becomes no-brainer pricing? Is making one plan just a super no-brainer plan? And it's definitely a strategy we all encounter every day. If you've ever gone to the movie theaters and ordered popcorn, you can get small, medium, but why not get the large? It's only 50 cents more than the medium. So that's a common example of the movie theaters using the decoy effect. But yeah, Pat.
And by the way, one thing we've been discussing lately is we've been wondering if we have too many plans, if we should just have paid or unpaid. But in light of the decoy effect, I think you're suggesting it's better to have at least 3 options.
You could still do the decoy effect with 2 if you got rid of your. Let's just get rid of this one as an example. So even if you had 2, it could still work as a decoy effect. What you want to do is if you're going to have a free or paid count, you really want to make it bare bones where you're not really getting much from it. It's more of a basically you're registering your business and you're not getting much else from the community.
And just to go a little bit into the decoy effect, the pricing the way you have it right now, Ken, what you're making me try to figure out is what is in the elite plan that makes it 10 times more expensive than the premium plan. So now I want to figure out why is it 10, what could possibly be in there? Whereas if it's just 139 and 149, I'm now thinking, what's all the extra stuff I get for just $10? So the psychology of that is completely different. Now I'm looking at, wow, I get all of this and this and this and this for $10 more. I'm not even thinking about the overall price. I'm thinking about the $10 figure. So there's a lot of psychology that goes into pricing and how you organize your pricing. That's one of the reasons that works so well.
Makes sense. But another dilemma we've had is the features that we're offering. We're trying to make it simpler, easier to see at a glance, and we're trying to reduce the number of features, at least for the first 2. So, do you suggest that we maybe reduce the what we're displaying there by maybe 50%, or?
Yep. 50% is good. Yeah, if you can cut it by half, it'd be a lot easier. And the free listing comes with 2 things. The premium comes with maybe 5 things, and then the elite comes with 10 things for $10 more, or whatever figure out more. So things like uploading video, I mean, those do have value, I guess. You got to figure out where people want visibility and exposure to their potential customers. So rather than listing features of what the site can do for them, you got to list the benefits of what they're going to get from their listing. So you got to figure out what those things are, and you want to touch the emotional points of what's going to motivate someone to want to join your site, because you're making an emotional connection, and you got to play to their ego, right? A lot of it is playing to their ego and getting them excited and getting their mouth watering about the potential of joining your site, because their X, Y, and Z is going to happen when they join your site. So maybe check out some of the competitors, see what their talking points are with regards to plans and packages, and you may want to repurpose some of those onto your own pricing page.
Good suggestions. I like it.
All right, and yeah, okay. So yeah, I definitely agree with Pat that the $19 is really, it causes more confusion than help. I think if you went up to something like this, it could be a lot better. And then maybe you don't want to show the yearly price here. You might want to keep things simple as possible.
Yeah, a lot. What most, if you go online and you see most softwares, what they do now is they advertise the monthly price, and then below where it says year, perhaps Jason could do it with CSS. They'll say on the yearly plan, and it is the most common. I find it frustrating as a consumer because I know what they're doing, but
They say
since
paid.
all the softwares do it
They say paid annually.
paid annually. There you go.
Yeah.
So you can now you can give a discount on your, you don't have to promote the actual monthly fee. You can promote your yearly fee broken down into monthly price points, and that also helps land more sales. So it's really effective. Instead of showing the highest price point, which is the monthly plan, almost everybody offers a 20% or more discount on the yearly plan. You can break it down into monthly, and that's the lowest figure people see as an entry point, which is really effective.
I'd also get rid of
Right.
the extra zeros, like the
Yeah.
here's
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
here's a tip also. There you could use something called small, and it'll kind of reduce the font size of the month if you're going to use the per. Let me actually show you how you would do that. This already looks nicer here, paid it compared to this one here. All right, so let's go to your pricing page design. This is good for everyone. That's why I kind of want to share this. So let's say you're going to edit your premium price. Let's toggle this open. So what you could do is, first let's get rid of the zeros. And if you're going to use the slash in the month, you guys can do this. You could do small with the brackets, and then you just want to put a forward slash there. And what that does is close it, and that'll put the slash in the month as smaller text. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat in case anyone wants to use it. And I'll save the changes. So that's in the chat there for the go to webinar. Let's save the changes, and we can compare it to the yearly one. I'm going to refresh this. It's at the $19 still. So it kind of makes it a little more a tighter page there, rather than all these spaces and these zeros.
Yeah, I like it.
And then, okay, last thing I got to say it is your title here. It needs to connect more with the study abroad program. Can we update this here, these titles?
Yep.
All right. So again, it's all about creating an emotional connection with the potential member that's going to sign up. So let's motivate them.
Recruit more students, maybe something like that.
Yep. Your
Okay.
study abroad program, and we can use today, and then we can say, you can even list in 90 seconds and connect with more students, something like that. When you say get listed in 90 seconds and connect with more students. And I promise you, if you just set up a bare bones profile, name, company, address, phone number, and a logo, that's how long it takes for someone to create a profile on a BD website. So it's super easy. So let's check this out now. Let's see if that all fits. Let's get rid of the today. It just looks a little busy. So list your study abroad program. So you're telling them what to do. It's not vague. Get listed in 90 seconds. You're kind of letting them know that it's easy in that sense. And connect with more students. You're telling them what's going to happen after, what their reward will be after getting listed on your site. The last thing would be the names of the membership levels, Ken. I think premium and elite are nice, but I like to do things like spotlight listing, something that kind of lets them know that they're going to be getting more exposure, because again, these people are joining for visibility and exposure. And you could, just by that one being spotlight listing, it's already set the tone that the listings, the listing levels, the tiers represent exposure. So we can't, once one of them mentions something like spotlight listing, or you can come up with something clever, and then you can do, basic listing is fine. But again, you're actually telling them what they get now. This is for a listing. This is for a listing. This is for a listing. So you're further telling them what they're paying for. If you don't call it a listing, you might call it a profile. You might call it an account, spotlight account. But you're kind of turning it into a product. It's an intangible product, but you're making it more psychologically as a tangible product. It's a listing. It's going to exist. It's going to do something for them. So rather than just basic, premium, and elite, you're now giving it a little bit more of a tangible sense.
Yeah, I like that. Otherwise, we might as well just call it bronze, silver, and gold or something, which doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah,
Like
you could even, on the basic listing where it says possible ads on the listing, what I've seen some people do, and in this example, it would be spotlight listing ads on profile. Or banner ads on profile. So you can let them know that the premium members will be they'll show up as advertisements on the basic listings.
Ooh, you dirty dog, Pat.
Right.
I like that one.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's one of the things that basic members want the least is they don't want to have, or you can call them competitor ads on listing. That would also work out well because nobody wants a competitor's ad on the listing. When you say ads on listing, they're thinking your AdSense. But if you say competitor ads on listing, they're going to say, that's not what I want. But at the same time, that's going to also explain, that's going to be understood that if you're a pro listing or a spotlight listing, you'll be showing up on free members' profile pages as additional exposure.
Right. And the pro listing
good idea.
Doesn't get ads. The spotlight listing doesn't get ads, but you're going to show spotlight listing ads on the profile pages.
Yeah.
You know,
you could put additional exposure on free profiles or on basic listing profiles. So you kind of explain the whole picture to people. You can either have a profile that's free, but of course, paying members are going to get exposure on your profile page, or you could be a paid listing and get. Now there's a business sense to why I'd want to pay. I'm starting to understand the value of being a paid member. There's real benefits to it at that point.
That's a tangible benefit. I like that one.
And this would be a small customization with a developer. It's just a one-time thing, and you can actually make that happen on free accounts to show, spotlight members, from different membership levels. So definitely possible here. But yeah, these are just some ways to make your plans more desirable, Ken.
And what about the term spotlight listing? If we use something alternative to listing like profile or something that sounds a little more embellished, do you think that would be a good idea?
Yeah, you kind of want a little bit of consistency across them. You don't want to get too clever because then people start thinking if it's even within the same product line. So again, you got to be aware of if your naming might cause more confusion. So it might be better to just be more straightforward.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Ken. Thank you for sharing your site with us. It's looking great. Hopefully, we could see more progress on it in the next webinar.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right.
We'll be working on it. Thanks very much, guys. Good advice.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. All right. I think we got time for one more question here. Okay, let's go with Sean. Sean, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Excellent, Sean. Where are you calling in from?
Dana Point, California.
Okay. Awesome. Used to live near Newport and would go to Dana Point quite often to the art stores there down the Pacific Coast Highway.
Right on. You probably went to my wife's store. We had a gallery right on PCH.
Awesome. So. Yeah, really beautiful area. So what's your question for us today?
So my site is abcdirectory.com, and if you look at the pricing page, you'll see how we've basically structured this is that we want to encourage professionals to sign up for free. But obviously, the companies that they work for them to promote their businesses, we want them to pay.
Gotcha.
What I'm finding is that people are signing up for free professional listing and promoting a company, even though that there's limited features. And what I wanted to find out is that is it possible for me to create a product that would be exclusive to individuals? So like a professional membership would only allow you to create an individual membership versus a company listing. Because I really want to get a lot of people's faces on there because you see the same usual suspects at all the conferences around the world. And they really encourage other people to sign up. But I also want to kind of, funnel people who are interested in promoting their business and doing commerce on the site to go towards the paid business membership.
Yeah, there is a way to accomplish that. I couldn't pull up your site. What was the name again?
A is in Apple, D is in David, C is in Charlie, Directory.
All right, got it here. So basically what you want is, and we touched on it earlier when we were looking at Beth's website, the company versus individual, right?
Correct.
So there is a nice helpful method to accomplish that. So let's just take a look at your site here. Let me close down some of these windows that we have open. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can accomplish that. Let's go to your pricing page. So professional member, you only want them to be listed as individuals by default. Business members, you want them to be that company status, right? All right, so this is what we want to this is what we want to do. We're going to go to our toolbox and we're going to go to the form manager. And we're going to look for that contact details tab. So we have one here, member contact details. We even have an alternate one for general users. What I'm going to do is edit this one. And what you want to do is clone it. And you have access to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do it for you. I'm going to give it a different name. I'm going to call this one professional. So I'll call it pro member. And I'm going to change this here. And I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. And just so I don't get confused, all right, this one says copy of, let me change the name of it actually real quick. It says copy of, so listing contact details pro member. I'm going to add individual to the other one just so we can distinguish the two. I guess I should have called this one company. Let me change it. Okay. This is company. And then we can move forward. And what you can do is assign different forms to the different. Okay. So let's just close this. And let me refresh the form manager. And just want to reset a little bit. Okay, so we search for company, and here we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn, this is the field, type of listing, company or individual. I'm going to open this. I'm going to copy company. I'm going to add that as the default value here. And get rid of the options here. So, and I'm going to turn it into a hidden field, which is right over here. So it'll be behind the scenes, and it'll pretty much be pre-selected as company. So I'll save the changes. So now that we've created this form, we want to assign it to the company membership levels. So we'll go to the Finance tab, Manage Products, and that one, what's the member? The business account, is that it?
Yeah, so the company would be the business. That's the paid one. Yep. So
let's edit this, and there's a tab called Profile, and the contact details form to use, we want to use this new one called Company. Now go ahead and save.
So that's what it's for. Okay. I was always wondering what that did. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but prior to that setting, it was a huge customization to show a different form for the different membership levels if you wanted to have members fill out different things. Now, I just want to make sure it's working for you. I'm going to log in as a member. I want to make sure. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new member as a test. So I'll do Jason at jason.com. Password's not important right now, and the membership level will be business. And let's create an account. Log into member account. I am actually going to inspect the code. I want to make sure that okay, so I did everything correct except one thing. When it's a hidden field, the default value we want to put as the title of it. So let me backtrack. I did make a mistake, but it's okay. Form manager, instead of putting it in the default value here, we're going to put it as kind of the name of the field. I think Pat caught that one before in a previous webinar as well. So instead of putting company here, I'm going to put it where it says type of listing, and I'm going to save the changes. You only do that when it's a hidden field. Otherwise, if you're trying to have a default value, you want to put it where I had put it. So let me refresh the page. And basically, in this little thing that's kind of muted here, I'm looking at the code. The listing type will be saved as company, and they don't see it here. So let me do the same thing for you for your other form that you had. So let's toggle to the member. I'm just going to rename the form as well to be individual. So edit form settings, and I'm just going to put individual here, and I'm going to do the same thing, and you should be good to go. So this was it's 2 steps. Clone the form. Well, it's a couple steps. Clone the form. Hide the field that you don't want to be there. You want to define the default value. So in this case, it's going to be individual. We're going to put it here. I'm going to delete that, and we're going to put this as a hidden field. Everyone has this, and I'm going to save the changes. Now I'm going to log in. Let me actually set up an account as a new member. On the individual level. Well, I guess that would apply to everyone else right now. So let's add a new member. I'll just choose anyone that's not a free member. We'll do JJ at jj.com. So we'll do the free member. We'll do free professional. And we'll log into the account. And let's look at the code. You guys don't need to do this, but here's the line. Listing type is individual. So you're all good to go there.
Great.
All right.
Awesome.
All right, good stuff. Thank you for sharing your site with us. Was this your first webinar with us?
The second one, this has been extremely helpful. I got so many good nuggets out of this one, and really looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Great. Look forward to seeing you in there, Sean. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us this webinar Wednesday. It's honestly been filled with tons of useful information. Don't forget, create your Canva or banner ad, wherever you want to make it, add it to your site. We want to see your visitor actions in the next webinar. If you want your site showcased in the next webinar, please email events@brilliantdirectories.com. Just include a link to your website, and we'll be happy to take a look at it in the next webinar that's coming up. A huge thank you to Sean for sharing your site with us, publicinfrastructure.com.au. You've definitely done a phenomenal job with that website, and we wish you tons of success with it. And Gabe's Corner. Gabe, thank you so much for this segment. It was highly valuable. We heard it from all the attending. So hopefully we can make this a regular staple of Webinar Wednesdays. And lastly, if you guys haven't already done so, please take just a moment and join our Facebook group. You could join us at brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook, and we can continue the conversation there. So on behalf of myself, Gabe, and Patrick, thank you guys so much for joining us in this Webinar Wednesday, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great day.
Have a brilliant day, everyone.
Great webinar, everyone.